we've got quite a race going on here. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Quick and dirty introduction here. So, the Triforce calls upon Link to bring forth peace to a foreign land from far away. So he gets sent to Holodrum. And the reason he's sent to Holodrum is because there is a knight who is a dragon who is under the payroll of Twinrova to capture the Oracle of Seasons and sink the Temple of Seasons to light the Flame of Destruction, which is one flame and 3 flames, along with Varen, who is the Sorceress of Shadows over in Labyrinth, to light the Flame of Sorrow, so that they can steal Zelda to light the Flame of Despair, so that they can use her as a sacrifice to summon Ganon back into the world from the dead. If that's confusing, don't worry, it's oracles. Now, as we will see here, that tornado was on it. How he makes the tornado is a very interesting way, and I theorize that he spins on his head like a top. It makes sense because he's sort of top-shaped, you know? Just like an inverted top. As we can see, the temple's sinking, all the seasons are going out of whack. It's the destruction and land of rot Daedonix craves, or that he's paid to care about. So, now they welcome to land in North Horan. And every area in the game has a set season, save for Horan Village, and it matters when you come back into the village what season you want to see. And that season is not winter. Any other season is fine, it's just winter is bad. So here, you're sort of in this little mini dungeon trying to get a sword, because, you know, nothing like locking the guardian deity of a land away behind a gate that requires you to spin a sword. Now, what you saw Sagaz and qdoe do slightly after is a save and quit, so there's a lot of times in this game where you'll open your save and quit menu by pressing Start Select, and then you'll go down 1 to a save and continue, and then do what's called a soft reset, which is resetting the game without turning the console on and off. So basically, they hit AB Start Select after hitting save and continue to do a quick save work. Now, the runners will not want to see winter here. Saga's getting summer, good times. qdoe getting fall, good times. Now there's a reason why they don't want to see winter, and that is because winter has snow pile-ups. And where Sagaz is walking, there's snow piled up right there, so that you have to add 3 extra transitions to get up to the Maku tree. And that takes a while. Here the Maku tree pulls his best Kaepora Gaebora impression and tells you if you want to hear this explanation again. So they have to hit B at the right time and then A, otherwise they'll go through the entire text again. So now they got the gnarled root key, and they're going to go stick a key in a rock to open a tree. Funny enough, there was a recent glitch found in the game via rando. So if you come up to this area while riding an animal companion and the dungeon is closed, if you get off the animal companion and go up to where the entrance is, you will enter the dungeon because of a certain address value that gets put down to like 0 when you get off an animal companion, and that just happens to be the same memory address that tells the game, oh yeah, you can enter this area. Hilarious. I love it. It's totally completely useless in a season's any percent run. It makes me really sad, honestly. So Sagaz is killing a lot of enemies here because he wants to get Maple to appear. qdoe is not going for that manip, so he won't bother killing as many enemies. There's not a lot going on, other than the fact that they need to make sure that they both have over a heart and a half going into the bomb wall room. I'm not keeping track of Sagaz's count, so I don't know where he's at. Sagaz needs to make sure that he doesn't get a hit, or else he'll have to skip one of the damage. Using a bomb there sucks, but it's not really that big a deal. So Sagaz not taking hits. So their Seasons has very low iframes, but there is one of the areas that you can like damage boost to things. Saga's getting a quick kill on the mini boss. Basically, you hit the mini boss with a bomb, bait it into walking into the bomb twice. That's the equivalent of 4 sword slashes. Then you do sort of like 2 sword slashes and a spin attack to do a quick kill on it. And you have to make sure that you're killing one enemy versus, like, you only attacking one, because the mini-boss has 2 different health bars. Also, you saw both Sagaz and qdoe mash start when going down into the basement like that. That's because during a freighting transition, if you mash start, you can more quickly move out of it, rather than letting the freighting transition go all the way through. So here, the moblins are alright. And their Saga is doing a hard reset, which is sort of like turning the console on and off in order to set up for an RNG manipulation. So these hands here, they are unlike other enemies, which move about randomly and roll RNG. Hands are move based on where you're moving, so if you just move in a certain pattern, they will stay out of your way. Looks like qdoe is not bothering with a minute at all. And there's Sagaz with the first essence, the fertile soil. Not coming not far behind. So Saga is getting Maple here like he wants, and it's important because he's going to get a certain ring from this. It's called the level 2 power ring, and it's nice because it increases your damage by a certain amount, but also increases the damage taken. So you can use it at certain points to get a lot of damage onto certain enemies and bosses. So now beginning the Rosa segment. So Sagaz doing the manipulation gets a fast pattern for Rosa, whereas qdoe not doing a manipulation is on the winds of RNG. Sagaz getting the fast cycle for the first one and the fast cycle for the second one. qdoe getting the slow cycle on the first one and the fast cycle on the second one. We will see how they land on the next screen. Both getting the fast cycle. So, reason that you can't just come here when you get Ember Seeds is it's actually an Essence lock. Rosa won't appear until you get the first Essence, and you need Rosie to appear and walk through that portal in order to enter Subrosia here. This game, despite being rather open, has a lot of Essence locks like that, so you can't skip any part of the game to get to another part. So it kind of sucks like that. And always fun is the fact that the season spirits can summon their powers to create a rod out of thin air, and yet require you to go through the entire temple area, towers, to actually get it blessed so that you can use it for changing seasons. So Sagaz and qdoe getting the first season, Winter. Now winter is a season where snow piles up, like I said before, and also water freezes. So they'll be able to cross some bodies of water. Not all water freezes, but some does. Also, in that tower, what you're supposed to do in an intended route is you're supposed to go to this awful minigame called Subversion Dancing and dance your way to get a boomerang, which is a completely useless item that you don't need, so that you can hit the crystal switch on the other side. But we have bombs, so they just throw a bomb on the other side of the lava river, and boom, they make the bridge. So Sagaz continuing the manip here. So the manipulation actually stays going until the Power Bracelet room in Dungeon 2. So it starts from when you get the boss key in Dungeon 1 and goes all the way through till, like, the first part of Dungeon 2. It's a fairly long manip to keep going. And things that roll RNG in the game are also nice damage boosted by qdoe. Both the Spear and the Octorok, that was classic. Things that roll RNG are enemy movements, whenever you slash your sword, whenever you dig something up, whenever you break something, whenever you do screen transition, and whenever the title screen is on screen, every frame that is on screen, that rolls RNG. So as you can see, Moblin Road without the manip is very annoying to deal with. And part of the reason it's very annoying is because optimally you don't want to equip a sword. However, it can be useful to equip a sword when moblins keep getting in your way. With the manip, you don't have to worry about that. The Saga is here entering Dungeon 2. Snakes remain. Sagaz not getting the manip here. But he'll do a saving quick and still have a chance to save it. Leave qdoe here on a very low amount of health. I think Sagaz got his manip back. No, he did not. So we'll see if he gets lucky when it comes to the Moblin room, because when you keep the manip all the way through, you can throw a single bomb and it'll kill both Moblins, which he still might have been able to do if he changed his equips early. So, qdoe getting a little luckier there with the Moblins than Sagaz. Now, one thing that they both need to do is, coming into this next area, they have to make sure that they have 6 bombs. And they have to make sure that they go fast enough for the room. It's not very hard to go fast, but you can end up missing it sometimes. This is a timed room, and ideally you want to time it so that you can throw your bombs while walking through the cracked block. Sagaz opting to do a save and quit here, and risking a second time save for Moblin RNG here. And getting it fairly easily. qdoe going the long way around, but the safer way. So as you can see, this dungeon employs large rollers to build some very large loaves of bread. A lot of flour and water are placed onto the floor to make sure that the boss of this dungeon, in fact, gets the right amount of food for his stomach. qdoe waiting until, well, was expecting him to change his sword when he walked down the stairs, but I guess he decided or forgot to do that. Now coming to a bug in the Japanese version of the game only. In the Japanese version of the game, the hitbox for this mini-boss exists before the fight starts, so you can just throw 5 bombs in the area where the boss will spawn, and then you can just kill him like that. Teasing the boss, of course, to give it a hopeful chance of being able to attack you, but cruelly stealing that away. qdoe doing the same, but even less. Poor giving people, well, not really people, just empty faces on the ground, hope that they might to engage in some revelry, but instead their hopes are dashed. So here is the Dongo. The Dongo is a nice little boss, the hungry little boss. As you can see, he opens his gaping maw wide. He's like, man, I'm hungry. So after you throw 2 cleverly disguised bombs as meatballs into his mouth, he starts to get a little tummy upset, a little rumbly in his tummy. Ooh, Sagaz saving that. Though it's not that bad if you miss 1 bomb. If you miss 1, he won't charge for the next time, but if you miss 2, he'll charge 3 times, and it's kind of rough missing 2. But anyway, back to the Dongo eating patterns. Oh, there's qdoe missing that time. Oh, that's kind of a bad spot to get the Dongo in. But he gets him. And now they are both with their second essence, the Gift of Time. I'm curious to see if qdoe will decide to go for this manip after Dungeon 2 or not. Looks like he won't. So one thing about the manip that Sagaz can do is that when you come into Horn Village and it's winter, going either to Dungeon 2 or from Dungeon 2, you need to visit the Ember Seed tree beneath the ring shop, and that sets up a warp point because every tree in the game is a warp point for the Gale Seeds later on. So I think qdoe already visited the tree, so hopefully he doesn't get winter this time. So that he can save some time on going, yeah, straight up like that. Sagaz, because of the manip, didn't have to worry about that. Since he manipulated a season that is not winter, he could just cut over the ring shop rather than having to go down. So if it is winter, he has to go down to the Ember Seed tree anyway. Now this is an important fight. You're fighting a penguin for boxing gloves that belong to a kangaroo to give to a kangaroo so he can give you a flute so that you can ride with him back to the swamp. That's right, it's not Shrek's swamp, it's Ricky's swamp. qdoe getting unlucky and getting punched by Blano there. Sometimes Blano will just ignore your punches and sort of punch through you. It's kind of annoying, but it happens. It's not that bad. Ricky is the fastest animal companion to get. But he is by and large the most annoying to use. That Buzzblob was not being kind to qdoe over there. Just constantly bullying him. Buzzblobs will be like that, and there are a lot of times when you don't have swords because it's inefficient to equip them, that you'll be just constantly harassed by an enemy like that. And the iframes in the game are so low that they'll just like, oh yeah, you wanna pass? You can't pass. You can't pass. And they just keep doing that. It's really annoying. So Ricky jumps and punches. What qdoe and Sagaz have now are Pegasus Seeds, and they make you go fast. They're speed seeds. Sort of like Pegasus Boots, except much better. They're consumable, yeah, but there's no bonking, and you can go diagonal or just even stay in place so that you can use the speed to go farther with your jumps later on. So there is Sagaz putting a keyhole in another rock in order to open a gate and drain the swamp, so that you can reveal a stump to change the season to make it winter to go down and get a jewel to open the doorway to Dungeon 6. Yeah. So Ricky is just kind of annoying because of his movement. He always does a full jump even if you're half a screen away. So there will be times where you'll just be like half a jump. Like Ricky on Sagaz's screen was totally not a whole jump away, but he did a whole full jump, and you had to wait. Sagaz had to wait for that time in order to get through. I don't know why Sagaz went back for that bomb drop, unless he didn't have any bomb. And the reason why they need bombs is in the Sunken City area, they are required to have bombs to give to 3 little boys to be able to ride on Dimitri. Now here is some RNG. Let's see what try Star or Sagaz get. Not first try, second try. This ore can be in 4 spots in the beach. So Sagaz got it on the 2nd spot. That's pretty good. Not as bad as 3rd or 4th. 4th is really annoying to get a lot of the times. And 3rd and 4th in general, just you can't use your Pegasus seat anymore to get up to the shop, and it's kind of really annoying. At least with 1st or 2nd, you have the Pegasus seat going partially way to the shop. qdoe not getting 1st or 2nd. Let's see what try he gets. 3rd try. So, now we're on to Mighty's tips for dating. First off, always important, run. Always make sure to run. You and your date must be at equal physical compatibility. If you're not, it will not work out. So when you come up here, this seasonal spirit will give you summer. Summer is a season where vines grow on strange walls and water dries out of lakes. So basically, you're condemning the world to drought every time you turn it to summer. Good going, Link. So, important also to remember, you want to run back. You don't want to keep everybody dilly-dallying after your date is complete. And honestly, the most important advice I can give you on dates is to always make sure that you end your date right next to an actively erupting volcano and you leave your date right there. Not only does it represent the fiery explosion of your love in their heart, but it also gives them a free foot massage with the earthquake that accompanies the volcanic eruption. There might be flame. What is that in comparison to the expression of your natural love? So now they will be entering. Sagaz is entering Dungeon 3, Poison Moss Lair. So for these enemies, you're supposed to have a shield, but you do not need a shield. You can use your shovel to dig them up and flip them over. Now we will be seeing Sagaz attempt what's called hands manip. Like I said earlier, hands can be manipulated by moving in a certain direction. Sagaz is failing it, so he's going to have to kill the hand. Unfortunate, but not that bad. Especially with the power ring, it makes the hands take only 2 hits instead of the normal 3 with the wooden sword, that is. Here again, we see roller pins. Also, I'm very curious as to how this dungeon that was submerged underwater not too long ago uh, has been fully populated by enemies, rolling pins, and all these traps. Where previously it was, you know, all underwater. Not sure if qdoe is going for him or not. Looks like he's trying to. Well, he was, but he decided not to. Here, Sagaz is going up with some Pegasus seeds to go get the dungeon item. So, the item of this dungeon is the Rock's Feather. It is a blue feather from a mystical bird called the Helm Rock, and it allows you to jump. So now we jump, and now the game gets exciting. Well, not entirely exciting, but more exciting than it's been. Because now we can run and jump, and it's fun. So, Sagaz was hoping to get a jump off that head plump there, but that takes a second frame jump, and he did not get it. He is now on half a heart. This is not very good. So, oh yeah, he has a potion still, so that's good. qdoe also looking not so great on health. Also, look at these enemies. They got trampolines in their work. Trampolines. Don't tell me villains can't have fun. Actually, the boss of this dungeon is a girl. She does give birth. Maybe the song is right. Girls do just want to have fun. qdoe opting not to go for the fast room. Sagaz attempting the handsman if again, failing it again because again it is a hard thing to do. Kinda tight. Though doing an improvised version of it so that he doesn't have to kill all the hands. Now with the feather, he can jump over that button, which would let the floor fall beneath him. And now he's going to face the mini boss. Oh my. And landing one mini boss into the water. And getting like a 2-cycle-ish. So, without the power ring, oh my takes like 4 hits each cephalopod. With it, it takes 2 hits. So it's very nice to have for that fight. Ooh, I was worried for qdoe for a second. So now that Sagaz has the boss key, he will go and fight the boss. That boss being Mothula. One of 2 bosses not taken from The Legend of Zelda, the original one. This one instead taking from Link to the Past with Moldorm platform included. You know, the spikes were just too cliche. And there's the third essence, the bright sun. Now, pretty much every time after a dungeon, the runners will go back to the Pegasus Seed tree to refill on Pegasus Seed. This next upcoming area is determined based on which animal companion you have. There is the Natsu Prairie, which you always see in any percent run, is the domain of Ricky, the boxing kangaroo. There's also the Natsu Wasteland, which is a holy area for Moosh, the blue flying bear. Sagaz, not Sagaz, qdoe getting absolutely wrecked by those P-hats being in front of the boss door right there. And the Natsu River, the home of Dimitri, the red swimming Dodongo. I really hope qdoe does not die here. Okay, good. Sagaz has not gotten his Pegasus Seed drop yet, and it does not look like he will. That is unfortunate for Sagaz, because it's nice to have those Pegasus Seeds on hand for a little, more speed. So now in Sunken City, this is an interesting city in that it is not named. Like, it wasn't sunken before the seasons changed and the snow caps melt on the mountain up north. So, now everything's just sunken, and it's Sunken City. Also, what better town defense plan than going to give 3 young boys bombs to defend the town, so you can swim on the back of a waterfall swimming dinosaur. This dinosaur swims up waterfalls, it's awesome. Also, Dimitri is the best, and I will have no other contest on this because he is great and eats everything and swims up waterfalls. So there, Sagaz used a fairly new sort of tech. It's not really new. It was discovered by Dren in that you're supposed to hit all 4 of those at once, and so you do. You just don't swing your sword multiple times, because that's what once means, right? Right, according to the game, that is the case. So you can just, instead of moving all 3 the blocks close to the one immovable block, you can just move 1 block over, slash your sword once, and then hold it for a spin slash for the rest of the blocks. And then you can jump over the water to the, get the Master Plaque to get the Zora Flippers. The Flippers being the item that allows you to swim, and once you have them, Dimitri will say bye-bye. Also, qdoe not getting the, oh wait, he did. Last enemy, and he gets the Pegasus Seed drop. What a guy. Link landing on the other side of the lava, red and blue coming down the pike, and they're coming to, steal and intercept his feather, trading out for him with the green Fool's Ore, the Fool's Ore being the item that is the same damage value as the Master Sword, one-shots any enemy, and deals any boss quite a heavy damage to the blow. Red and blue coming down here, and Link digging up a lot of stuff. Unfortunately digs up a fire pokey, because, you know, those are very common around those parts. Red and blue starting on the other side of the screen, not by their house, because where else would someone come out from behind them and follow them? No, not out of their house, but from the woods. You are 100% correct on that. Red and Blue coming down the pike, Red checking a tree twice to make sure that no one pops out of the tree, Blue passing by Link and not seeing him because the versions have that peripheral vision due to the fact that they're wearing hoods all the time. Red and Blue are taking different paths here. Blue checks up by the rocks while Red checks down by the seashore. Red checks down by the seashore, makes sure the pirates stay on their side of the shore and does not steal their treasure in their treasure grove. Blue checks up by the rocks and makes sure that no one's following them. Red and Blue are on different sides, and now Red comes down and Blue goes up right where he was to make sure that no one was intangible and invisible there following them from behind. Red goes down, checks by the seashore again to make sure that no one is following them coming up from the ocean. Now Red and Blue stay on the similar place and take different paths to look at the mushrooms. Red takes one mushroom, Blue takes the other mushroom. Red goes around a little more thoroughly looking at the mushroom, not even paying attention to the dug spots that are appearing out of nowhere. Blue and Red take in different spots and come together, and then they come down and they think, oh, you're going to go down. No, they do a fake out and they go around and make sure that no one's been following them, and then Link goes down and Red and Blue bury the feather in the most conspicuous spot they can possibly dig it. Link digs up the feather, grabs the feather, trades the Fool's Ore back out for the feather, leaves it back for the Strange Brothers because he is a nice guy and does not want to steal anything, even though it is a great damage value item that he would use a lot in the game. Okay, that was hide and seek. I like to play it like that because it's really boring otherwise. Saga's not getting the jump, unfortunately. There is a way that you can jump in that stream so that you can jump onto the moving platform without falling into the lava. It's kind of tight and annoying to get, and it doesn't even save all that much time, TBH. So Sagaz is getting spring now. Spring is the season that blooms flowers. Both rock flowers that will bloom so that you can cut them, and shooty-uppy flowers that will shoot you up a cliff. But honestly, most important for this is the fact that in spring bananas grow. And you will see the next glitch in the run, which is the only other glitch. So you've been sort of seeing how the runners are sort of walking into things and then getting pushed out of them. That's called a wall clip. So Sagaz does that there to wall clip into the mushrooms and then sort of walk into the rock so that he can grab the rooster through the rocks. Sagaz falling into the pit, but it's not really that big a deal. The bat room is annoying. So he grabs the bananas off the tree and we'll go take them down to Moosh. Ooh, and getting a bomb drop, that's very important because the bomb drop is necessary. The bombs are necessary for Dungeon 4. And there is a chest in Dungeon 4 before the room where you need bombs, however it's just annoying to get. So it's a good thing that he got the bomb drop. Here, Sagaz is entering this cave here to set up a save and quit point after getting the key for Dungeon 4. So Moosh can hover over Pit, and there Sagaz can do a save and quit to this cave in the area where he needs to be instead of saving and quitting all the way back over by the spring banana tree. And also so that he doesn't have to come in and the season will be back to its summer default. And one last time on the flying rooster in order to make it across to this cliff. And again, a keyhole in a rock. I don't know who has been designing these keyholes, but they are very eccentric. Also, somehow putting a key in a rock stops a waterfall. Who had the time to build all these dungeons? I'm very confused. So this is the 4th dungeon, Dancing Dragon Dungeon. Here's where the run really starts to pick up, in my opinion. Here we begin with some high-class puzzles by season. Pushing pots onto buttons. Seasons was the combat-oriented game in comparison to Ages being more puzzle-oriented. So, yeah, that's why Seasons doesn't have many puzzles. So I do question why Ages has the harder enemies than qdoe. Also getting a bomb drop there, that's pretty good. So, there you saw Sagaz. I was hitting the wrong button. That was funny. Buffer himself entering the basement room, and while he did that, the platform stopped moving, and he did that so that he can just use Pegasus seeds right away and jump through the room without having to wait. qdoe doing an unfortunate fall there. A few unfortunate falls, that's really not fun. I understand that those woes. Once you sort of activate those Zols, they get very annoying. And falling again. That is a rough time. And falling again. Okay, there. That's what I was expecting. Sagaz switched back to the power ring so that he could use it on the enemies in here. And he will be keeping it on through the mini-boss of this dungeon. I believe Sagaz still has his potions, so it's not that bad that he's on this health level. It's just risky wearing the power ring this long because the power ring does increase the damage, so every enemy that hits you does a whole heart of damage rather than just half a heart like normal. So this is Agonima. Agonima is sort of Aghanim-like. He has shadow copies, but you don't have to worry about them. Just sort of light the torches so that you can see which shadow is under which guy. And when you got the one with the shadow, just hit that one. With the power ring, it takes 2 spin slashes and a regular slash. With the regular wooden sword, it takes 3 spin slashes and a regular slash. Now Sagaz is going to get the dungeon item of this dungeon, the slingshot. The slingshot allows you to shoot seeds. The seeds do mostly the same sort of similar aspects of thing it does when it's put out of the seed satchel. So like Ember Seeds will burn things. Mystery Seeds will do a random effect of any other seed. Gale Seeds will gale something away, like just take it out of the room, but it's sort of like falling in a hole and that'll respawn as soon as you leave the room. Zen Seeds will damage an enemy, most enemies at least. And Pegasus Seeds will sap the strength of any enemy. Also, qdoe falling into the spikes there is very not fun. Twice, that is not good. Oh, oof. I need to make sure that he doesn't die here because this is a very bad spot to die in. He'll probably do a death warp. Saga's trying a buffering jump, but getting it the second try, so that's pretty good. And in the eye of the beast, you have the boss key. With that, Sagaz grabs the key that he got from the lighting the torches earlier. Doing a save and quit, which is interesting because I thought that was slower. Oh, just missing a 2 cycle. That is very not good. And still not getting a 3 cycle. Those roads were not kind to Sagaz today. So Saga's buffering that jump there because it's a very annoying jump and it's just easy to buffer. Also, you need the slingshot out for the boss anyway, so it's a good chance to do an equip there. So the boss for this dungeon is Goma. She has 2 phases, and the runners never actually go to the second phase. So they just shoot past her claw into her eye and hit her eye 15 times. The claw takes 10 hits of damage, and once you do that, she becomes much more random and starts shooting out some of her spawn to attack you. Which is nice because they drop seeds, but it's also annoying because you're trying to line up a shot on her eye and babies are popping out of her and blocking her eye. She also closes her eye a lot more when she's doing that. So it's just more consistent to shoot past her eye like that. Now, a similar thing Sagaz is doing is that what they did after Dungeon 3, or before Dungeon 3 rather, after Dungeon 4, they go down into this little waterway and grab this Pyramid Jewel, which is another jewel that is necessary in order to enter the area where Dungeon 6 is. And since they will never be back here again, might as well just use it now. Might as well just grab it now. What I meant to say, and I need to grab it. The upcoming area is my favorite, because it's just got some really neat jumps. In fact, I kind of like Dungeon 5 as a whole. It's got a lot of neat movement and jumping to it. So here is Lava Lake, and you pretty much just quick jump. Try not to fall in lava, but you know, it's tempting sometimes. Link does a lot of work. He needs the heat to relax his aching muscles, as you know. You know, getting that jump first try, that's pretty good. At least I think it was first try, it looked like it out of the corner of my eye. So now that Sagaz has the bomb flower from Lava Lake, he's going to go visit some Subrosians who desperately need a bomb flower to break up some rocks. And you're going to see that not only is the bomb flower more powerful, it's a smart bomb. It breaks unbreakable rocks, and it does not harm Link. It knows what to break and what not to break. It is a good bomb. That was a good bomb. So now Sagaz is getting Autumn, and Autumn does two things, as most other seasons do. So, rock-hard stone mushrooms ripen so you can pick them up, and these pile up on holes. There won't actually be a utilization of the ladder in the run, but the mushroom thing will, yeah. You know, failing the jump. That's not very good. Oof. So what you're actually supposed to do here in this room is light the torches so that they build a bridge. Now, unlike anything else in this game, mushrooms are weird. I say that because you can't have two mushrooms despawning on the same screen at once. So if one mushroom is despawning, you have to wait until it fully despawns so that you can lift up the other mushroom. So that's why they throw it off the screen rather than letting it just disappear on screen. Oh, Kino getting hit by Goa there. Not very good. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know what is coming over me. I feel so tired all of a sudden. So largely this dungeon, Unicorn's Cave, is largely collect the keys and then use the keys. Ooh. Kiddo's gonna have to switch to Ember Seeds here. And makes it. I'm glad he did not die. And there Kiddo gets the Sport Essence Super Grade. As Sagaz gets the dungeon item for Dungeon 5, the Magnet Gloves. Yes, this game has magnets and jumping. Clearly, Breath of the Wild is a port of Oracle. Just like it is also, just like Shovel Knight is also a port of Oracle of Seasons, because this game has shoveling and jumping. So, the Magnet Glove is neat because you can use it to, move balls and attract yourself to areas. Sagaz is equipping the Power Ring so that he can make quick work of these enemies here. The N and S on the Magnet Gloves represent polarity, so like N and N will oppose each other while SS will also opposites attract. And Sagaz had to remember exactly which order that he killed the Armos in, because that was the order that he had to open the chests in order to get the key. And he accidentally used the seed there, so he'll have to make sure that he doesn't use another seed out of turn somewhere. Or he'll have to cut one of his seeds, is actually what I meant. So Saga is waiting until the ball appears in order to do a save and quit, otherwise the ball would not be there and he would have to do it again. Normally you can just check for the shadow to appear. Now with these blue platforms here, there is a moment of time, like about a second or so, that you can walk over a pit. And that's what Sagaz is doing there. It is pretty neat. And Sagaz will soon be coming to the mini-boss of this dungeon, Tiger. Tiger's pretty easy, it's just attacking his tail. But sometimes he can be really annoying because he'll just decide, I don't want you to hit my tail, and then runs away. So it's a lot easier with the power ring, but it can be very difficult when you don't have it sometimes. Because he'll just ram into you and you were like, I was not expecting that. It can be random sometimes. So with the level 2 power ring, you can just 2-cycle Stagger. Now, you're supposed to use that ball over there as a shield to get past the flame wall. Nonsense, you don't need it. All you need to do is you need to jump through the fire and prove yourself worthy. It's a baptism by fire. So now with the warp and the boss key, Sagaz can go on to the boss of this dungeon being Big Yager, a one-eyed bug creature that is made up of little baby bug creatures. Sagaz is also doing my favorite room in this dungeon, the cool way. Whenever you get to see that room done like that, I find it really awesome, TBH. And Sagaz is also opting to do that magnet jump rather than jumping on the platforms. It's pretty neat, actually. So this spike ball you control with your magic glove, and it's the only thing that can hurt the big dogger, and then it one-shots all the mini big doggers. When I was younger, I thought I had to use my sword to kill the mini big doggers, which made this fight incredibly more difficult. And there Sagaz gets the 5th essence of nature, nurturing 1. Ooh. So now with the 5 essences, Sagaz can go get the other 2 jewels. You actually need essence 4 and 5 to get the jewel from this old man here, because you can skip getting the 4th doing the 4th dungeon and going to the 5th dungeon. So they require both 4 and 5. And then with the slingshot you can go summon the black beast. Now you have to light a torch before it, but like I said before, mystery seeds can do the ability of any other seed. It's just the luck of the draw which one it decides to do. So Sagaz is going to be pelting this for a ember seed effect. And he gets it a few seeds in. qdoe going for this jump here, a very, very hard jump. Doesn't even say that much. But, you know. So, with doing that and using the mystery seeds on the question mark block, Sagaz summons the black beast, and killing it gives him the X-shaped jewel. The last jewel needed in order to enter this area. This is a really neat area that I love. It's called Charm Ruins, and it has the best song in the game. Qdo going at it. I respect this dedication to this jump. I respect it. Lord, I want to see him get it, because that would just be like, oh. I was like going so hard in for seeing Qdo get that, and then he was just like, oh. So, in Charm Ruins and also the Lost Woods, you have to use all 4 Cs. So it's pretty neat area, in my opinion. It also gets me on my little... Oh no, Qdo died. That's not a good place to die to, because you have to go all the way back up there. I wish there was a dungeon in this game that had like a outdoorsy sort of feel to it, where you could have a central location with a stump that would change like the layout of the dungeon based on which season it was. Really cool idea for a dungeon that could have been implemented but wasn't, because this is not a puzzle game. Despite how much I want it to be. Have like a sort of emphasis on that. So with the power ring, you can actually skip the level 2 sword here, but Sagaz does not do that. So to get to the level 2 sword, there is a training side quest to get to it, but it does not actually require doing the trading side quest. Rather, you just have to know where to go, and it is coldest hottest season going left every time. Then the way to get to the Dungeon 6 entrance is coldest hottest season again, except this time it's left, down, right, up. So you might be mistaken into thinking, oh hey, there's a shooty uppy flower there, we can just go in that. Actually, no. You have to turn it to winter to go up a snow pile up the cliff, because, and this is so fun, there's an Armo statue blocking your way, and you have to go through winter to push the Armo statue out of the way, so that you can jump down and change it back to spring, so that you can shoot up the cliff, so that you can slash the rock flower that's in your way. I just love to make this convoluted. Also, there is a mysterious hag who appears out of nowhere that we've never seen before. I'm sure she's not that important, she's just cackling about the evil and destruction in the world. No big deal. This is Dungeon 6, my most aesthetically pleasing dungeon in my opinion. I really like this aesthetic. It's kind of a trap dungeon filled with booby traps and such. There are dead-end rooms that have absolutely nothing in them. It's pretty neat. I would like to see another dungeon like this in a Zelda game. I don't know if there is, because I haven't played all the more recent Zelda games. Sagaz is getting the jump back on that pretty nice. Let's see... Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna make it. So, doing a save and quit there, because it will save him from having to get a seed key in the north part of the dungeon here. So instead he'll use the key that he got on this door here to get up and get the dungeon item. Getting that jump first try, it's a very tight jump, so that's commendable to get it first try. Also, Saga is opting to use the Gale Seeds to blow the spikes away. So now this is the level 2 boomerang. It is the magic boomerang. And what that means is that when you hold the boomerang button down, you can control where the boomerang is going with your directional pad. It is really awesome and real cool. Also, qdoe going for a fast thing like Sagaz did, but the bats are just not being nice. Here, there is a Z-axis in this game, so what Sagaz was doing is he was like slashing and then jumping, unlike in like LADX where you can jump and then slash, because that game does not have a really solid height detection. qdoe coming in with very low health for this boss fight, and going to get a 1 cycle? Oh damn, he got a 1 cycle. Sorry. Sagaz missing that first torch, so that's kind of not that great. But yeah, also nice thing about the magic boomerang, it kills Armos. You don't have to worry about using bombs for Armos. One of the reasons I love this game is because the magic boomerang exists and you can kill Armos without bombs, and I'm just like, yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Truly a beautiful thing. So coming up now is the mini-boss of the dungeon, Fire. Fire is really annoying. I'm not gonna lie, he's really annoying. He's a giant bat and he has 3 attacks. But first, Sagaz is going to have to go get a key. So what Sagaz wants is for 3 charges. There is 1 charge, that's good. And then he does this corner attack, which you can't reach him with, and then he does a circle attack, where you can reach him, you've just gotta be sure that you're going to be able to reach him. The powering is actually not all that helpful for Fire, because most of the time you'll be using a Spin Slash, and the Spin Slash gives you extra reach to reach Fire on, like, when he's doing his circling attack. So, when you do have the powering on, he takes like 3 normal slashes, or 3 spin slashes. I think he takes 3 normal slashes, I'm not exactly sure. I know he takes 3 spin slashes. This fire is not going very well for Sagaz. Oh, there he goes, he got it. And just the frequency of attacks, I don't necessarily think the powering is worth. But if you can land a regular hit on him during like one of his circle attacks, it could be. That way you don't have to try and time your spin slash so precisely. This button room is RNG. So that was 1. I'm gonna count and see. 3. 4. 4th try button. I will go ahead and see what qdoe gets as well, if I remember. So this hard hatch you're supposed to kill with a magnet ball, but of course, Yell seeds work as well. Now upcoming is the boss of the dungeon. Even more annoying than Dig Dogger and even more annoying than Fire, if you can believe it. The boss is Manhandla, and the fight takes place on quicksand. Saga's getting his sword out so that he can grab a fairy because Manhandle really likes to manhandle people. The idea with the fight is that you want to be on the opposite side of the body as the heads so that you can hit the heads when they open up with your boomerang. Each head takes 3 hits. You want to kill the heads within around the same amount of time, because if you don't, then Manhandle starts to move fast. Touching Manhandle does a whole heart of damage, and the fireballs do a half a heart. After getting all the heads off, 3 times on the body with the magic boomerang will open the core of Manhandle, and you just slash that core with your sword and it's dead. But believe it or not, we're actually getting to the part of the game with skips. So here you can use the boomerang buffered out of the menu and get it through those 2 stones right there. Sagaz missed it, so he had to go up and shoot it around the bridge, but that's not a really big deal. Oh yeah, Sagaz is doing an RNG manip here to get first try Bell. I have not seen this RNG manip, so this will be interesting. I believe he's going to keep it going all the way through Dungeon 7, or at least try to. The rusty bell that you get here is similar to the star ore in that it can be in 4 spots. This is really hard to manipulate because there are levers that appear on the screen and they will RNG a lot. And then keeping the RNG going through Dungeon 7 is difficult because you pass by a volcano screen, which rolls RNG every frame you're on it. Let's see. Not first try, so it looks like the manip failed. But he got second try, so that's not that bad. So, that bell is very rusty, so if you bring it back to the captain will say, "Arr, that ain't me bell, go get it plushed." So you have to go to, the Subversion Smithy. Looks like... Oh no! Oh, that's not good. Hopefully Sagaz will get a DLC drop because he will need one. And hopefully qdoe does not die here. Maybe? Oh no! qdoe died! Now he's gonna have to go back. And that's a very not good death. No, that's actually a fine death. These, Smiths here do not like the word please, so you have to yell at them and say, "Do it!" or else they'll get very upset at you. qdoe also doing a just reset there rather than doing any saves and continues, so that he had his seeds again. And the reason why they picked that rock up earlier before Dungeon 4 was so that they can jump through Subrosia over here, because it's much faster to move through Subrosia than move through the absolutely giant overworld. Yes. qdoe is not doing any of the manips, whereas Sagaz is doing quite a few. He attempted one manip, the D7 Bell manip. Well, the Rusty Bell manip, but it didn't pan out for him, I don't think. I believe he'll do another hard reset on Dungeon 7 when he enters to do a different manip for Dungeon 7. And he also has what's called the level 2 power ring, which allows him to put it on, and he deals more damage but also takes more damage when he has it on. That is also a route variation between the two. Also, hi BK5, how are you doing today? Hopefully you are well. Also, I haven't posted this yet, I need to, because obligatory. Yes, that is right. Pirates who are skeletons and do not have any guts do get seasick. I know that was a burning question y'all were having. Also, right in time for Spooky Month, skeleton pirates. Truly the most important Halloween thing you can have. Also, just in time for Spooky Month, we're going to a grave. Nice. I know, right? It's going to be very terrifying going into this dungeon here. Well, for Sagaz. qdoe's still in the Ancient Ruins, which also has its own terrifying mumminess. And of course, I guess every dungeon in the game has Salphos, so, you know, terrifying skeletons. Yep, there Sagaz goes doing another hard reset. So when you do an RNG manip, just because you're here, I'll explain it. And you have to do what's called a hard reset, which is basically like turning the console on and off, versus a soft reset where you hit AB start select. And some things that roll RNG are swinging your sword, digging, breaking things, enemy movements, and screen transitions. And whenever the title screen is on, it rolls RNG every frame that it is on screen. So, Sagaz put on his power ring, I believe, and... oh no, he didn't. With that, he can kill these enemies really quickly. And, now Sagaz bombed that wall over there, because he will be doing what is called post-skip, and basically what that is you go grab that key over there, and then you go backwards through using a Pegasus Seed and your Power Bracelet and Rock's Feather in order to jump through the room and get to the stairs before the torches go out. When all the 4 torches go out, you get warped back to the beginning. But using Pegasus Seeds and some precise jumping, you can actually make it through the room without having to get warped or kill the post sister who is guarding that room. So this is part of Sagaz's manip. He manipulates it so that the inner Armos that doesn't attack you is actually right up front there. And since I said I would, I'm going to count how many button tries it takes qdoe here. 1, 2, 3rd try for qdoe versus 4th try for Sagaz. These jumps are annoying. Technically, you're supposed to do them with the Rock's Cape, but we sequence break it and cheese the jumps because you can. I'm doing well enough, enjoying commentating the season's race. Not sure, well, I know what Sagaz is doing. He's slashing his sword for a certain pitch pattern in order to readjust his RNG so that he can get the right Armos next to the inner Armos next to the button again. And he did not get it. But he got a relatively close one, so it's not that bad. And unfortunately he pushed the Armos too far, so he has to push it back onto the button. That's always a fun time. So here you're going to see sort of what post gets skipped, essentially. You'll be seeing the first post-sister fight that we see in the run, but is actually supposed to be the second one. qdoe getting a fairly decent Manhandla, it looked like. So, yeah, like that. You light 4 torches in a room, or just the torches in a darkened room with a grave, and that will summon the post-sister. You kill the post-sister, and then she goes, "Wahaha, I'm going to haunt you," or "You're going to leave," or something menacing. And then the torches in the other room will not go out, so that you can get through there with no problem. But since they skip that, that allows them to keep a key for later in the dungeon, where they can keep getting a key as they go to the boss room. And then buffering themselves onto the edge of the pit there, and buffering a jump over the pit so that they don't fall down into the floor below. That way they can make it over to get to the dungeon item chest, which is, in this case, the Rock's Cape, and it's a very nice dungeon item because it gives them a double jump. Did he ever pick up a Gale Seed drop? Because if not, he might have just missed one. But the powering these two are pretty easy. You just want to make sure that, the runners want to make sure that all 4 torches don't go out. It's pretty easy not to get all 4 torches out, but there are times when you just clink off one and, like, it's like, oh no, she blew out the last torch. Because if you get sent back to the beginning before that warp, you have to do post-skip again, and that's really not a fun time. So there are seeds in the game, and one of the seeds is the Gale Seed, and that acts as a warp. So when Sagaz came to the dungeon, he didn't have a Gale Seed. I don't know if he got a drop of that, because, like, a seed drop from one of the enemies, because he is going to need one coming out of Dungeon 7 to warp to get to Dungeon 8. Well, he's not going to need it, but it's going to be much, much faster to warp there rather than just walking to Dungeon 8. And also, no, not even that. There is a guaranteed seed drop before Dungeon 8, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Ooh, qdoe not getting second try. Let's hope for third try for qdoe. Nice! He got third try. He does not need to lift the thing up. As long as he falls in while the skull is there, he's good. So Sagaz getting the boss key and doing a save and quit there because he has the warp and he can warp back to near the boss. Now he's going to fight the boss of the dungeon, and what ghostly enemy do we have but a 2-headed fire-breathing dragon? Yeah, I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. But they still send something spooky with us. You kill both heads of the dragon, and it becomes an undead dragon. Sagaz going for the heart container skip, and qdoe getting wrecked by enemies. This game has like very low amounts of iframes and a large knockback, so it's really hard to get through enemies like that. Yes, I am glad that the game developers in 2001 got the memo. He got a Galaxy drop, that's good. That's interesting. Yeah, he didn't need to go to the Pegasus Seed Tree. Though while he was there, he could have definitely gotten some Pegasus Seeds. But it's not that big a deal. Because there are 2 seed drops coming up before Dungeon 8. Sagaz is very well ahead. A whole dungeon ahead right now. Oof. So, here, technically, you're supposed to turn the season to autumn so that you can cross over these pits coming up. But with Pegasus Seeds and Rockscape, it's really easy to just jump over stuff. Well, I say easy. It's still a hard jump to make, but once you get the feel down for it, it's pretty easy. And with Pegasus Seeds and Rockscape, now this game is basically, let's jump over stuff. Also, number 1 and most important rule that you can think of in saving the world. Raining fire down from the heavens and turning a ruined area into a post-apocalyptic hellscape is definitely number 1 for me, I believe. I think that's the only time where something good was actually happening during that music. Like something you set off. So, Link might really be a villain in this game. I mean, not really, but, like, yeah, totally. So this actually used to be the area where the Temple of Seasons was. Oh, well, then you're going to love this next trick, which is a double frame perfect bomb boost on ice. And it's subpixel dependent as well. Ooh, Saga's getting that jump. I don't think it was worth it in the end, because of how many times he got hit by that bat, but, you know, whatever. And the bat's still coming after him. Geese in this game are awful and rude and mean. Bats in real life are cute and adorable and precious. Geese in this game are just rude. Oh, I see you want to jump over something. Would be a shame if something got in your way. Yeah, it does. It saves about 4.5 minutes. So they will do a save beforehand, because if they run out of Pegasus Seeds, they'd have to go through the dungeon like normal, which adds a huge amount of time, and it is just not worth it. So after they collect this key at one point, they'll save it so that if they run out of seeds, they can actually make it through. So there, Sagaz fell into the pit there to reset his subpixel value, and did a certain movement in order to set his subpixels to the right value. And here you'll see him do a buffer until that frame, and then do another buffer until he missed. Oh no, he got it. So right when the bomb, like Link gets out of his flipping animation, that first frame, he does the second jump out of that. So the first frame is at the edge of the ice when the bomb first explodes, and the second frame is when Link stops doing his flipping jump. Bats don't have to carry rabies. Bats can be very precious and not carry rabies. But yes. I mean, cats IRL can carry rabies too, and they're cute, so, you know. Saga's getting a nice, pattern for this Armos here. Qdoe was going for a jump there. He did not get that jump. I wonder if he will try it again. He is going to try it again. Oof. Cannot believe the cat hate in this chat right now. So these ice crystals basically turn lava into stone. Also, a few things to mention what exactly HSS skips. So it's named HSS Skip because it skips the dungeon item, the Hyper Slingshot. And also it skips pretty much half of the dungeon, the bottom half of the dungeon, the mini-boss. It allows you to keep 2 keys, which allows you to skip throwing an ice block down into this area here up top to grab a key from that area. And yeah, that's it. It saves about 4.5 minutes. It can be half sword and shield skip. It just depends on your preference. Personally, I like skip, you know. So now Sagaz is going up to the 8th boss in the game. This is actually the only original boss found in the game. That is one way to say that it is a dungeon. She has stone laser that will turn you to stone. That laser will turn you to stone. It is not fun when you get hit by it. But it is nice when you can land your sword on her when you're stoned, because then, you know, she will, like, still get hit by you. qdoe getting a very nice jump on that pit without having to buffer it. It is not a Zelda 1 remake, that is right. So, important thing to remember for the runners is after you get the 8th essence, you need to go to the Maku tree in order to get the Maku seed. The Maku tree seed is needed in order to break through the barrier that blocks Onyx's castle. Also, somehow Onyx has been watching you this entire time, and sees that you've collected all 8 essences and telepathically links with you and tells you, "Mwahaha, come and get me." You know, that's what I like to do here. I just like to make sure and pretend that this is the Zelda 1 remake, and then, boom, out of nowhere, I come at you with the OG Medusa head, you know? There have been many a times where I have been in a run. Actually, it's only been twice. But I come here, and I get pushed back, and I'm like, why? Oh yeah, the seed. But the seed pierces through the barrier, and then the hag reappears. And whoa, out of nowhere, the hag's Twin Rova. Did not see that coming at all. And now the Mockery Tree tells you, "Oh no, this is terrible. You really need to beat Onyx because Twin Rova's behind us. What could be going on?" And then in the epilogue, the Mockery Tree is totally like, yeah, peace is returned. There ain't nothing to do, let me sleep. Yes. Ganon comes when you link the game, one of the games. So usually you link ages to seasons, and then you'll beat Ganon in seasons. After fighting Twin Rova. Twin Rova being the much worse fight, because she's a prey RNG this fight. So this is Onyx. Onyx cannot be hurt by normal sword slashes, so you've got to spin slash him. With the power ring, his first phase takes 6 hits versus 7 with a regular fight. The second phase takes 4 hits. Getting electrocuted by Jin's crystal there makes the game think like, oh, okay, so you stop slashing and now you're slashing again. So you get 2 hits in when you do a spin slash through the crystal like that. And that's why they do that. But with it, both phases require like 7 hits. And then Dragon Onyx takes like 7 spin slashes. And Sagaz is doing a sub-mock strat here that is pretty good, and Sagaz finishes the run with 1:43.10. Now, I did switch the audio, but I have been informed that the audio will not be recognized to switch, so we'll see if anything can be done to actually switch the audio or play some Oracle of Seasons soundtrack.
Hi.
Hello.
So yeah, I'm sick, ill, so...
Oh no. How did you feel about the run? It looked pretty hot.
To be honest, nah, it's bad. Like, I lost almost 2 minutes on T6, that's super bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot Vire was very mean to you.
Yeah, Vire, Button, and Belanda. And to be honest, D2 was bad to like 30 seconds last. D3 was bad to 30 seconds last. D4 was bad to 30-second lost. That's I guess for race it's good, but yeah.
I was still impressed, especially with those last two dungeons. They looked really good. And the Onyx fight, of course, was very nice.
Yeah, actually, I think I could have gold D6, D8 if I remember to equip properly the ring. But yeah, the dungeon was very good. A D7 actually, it went okay, but I missed the manip, and it was my fault, so it could have been much more better.
I did see that manip got messed up, but at least it wasn't too bad. Like, it was one up there. Also,
yeah, and I didn't reach my goal. I wanted to do a 142. It's a 143.
oof. Listen to this guy trying to get a 142 in a race. I can't even get a 143 out of a normal contest. This is the kind of great runner we have right here going into the losers finals.
Yeah.
Which we won't actually know until the 15th who is actually coming out of the winners finals to face you. So that'll be a ways away till your next run.
Oh, I just see that Jesse will tell me that they can't switch sound, so I guess I'm gonna play a little bit then. Nah, to be honest, it was okay. It's the best race I did on the tourney, so I should be happy. But yeah, of course I want to PB, so that's pretty much 2 minutes and a half behind PB, so that's why I say it's not that good. But yeah, race is good.
So now we'll get to see qdoe do this. There are a few different ways that you can set up your subpixels. So if you fall in the pit, you can just walk back. If you attempt it, you have to hold down right until the corner of the wall. Nothing like 8-bit Song of Storms. So let's hope qdoe can make it on this one. Oh, that looked like it was fine. So it looked like qdoe had to reset to do for HSS skip. This is a common thing in the race because it is such an annoying skip to get down. That 8-bit Song of Storms is best thing to be playing right now. He will weather this storm of HSS skip. Oh no. Are we going to do it? I hope we're going to see Subversion dancing. Oh. I was really excited to see Subversion dancing for a second. Oh, we might actually see it. Please. I really want to see Subversion dancing. Ah, yeah, Subversion dancing time. Okay, it looks like... Oh, he missed it! That is a very hard frame to get. That is a very annoying frame to get, that second frame. This is the very annoying minigame that we get to skip in the any percent run because the boomerang is useless. Damn, he missed it again. Oh, looks like he made it. Very excited about that. So you don't actually need the Pegasus Seeds, you can use the magical boomerang there to hit the switch. And of course, Pole's voices have a weakness to sound, so your flute can kill them like that. His bats, of course, are being annoying. Sagaz seems to be just going and collecting all sorts of miscellaneous treasure that you can, such as the red ore. So now it's basically just throwing ice into the pits and making sure that the lava freezes over, and going to the boss. But since qdoe doesn't have the power ring, Medusa Head will not be as quickly to kill. Oh yeah. Ooh, I'm wondering what these people... Oh. Sagaz went and made the hard ore, and then used the hard ore to polish his shield and make it into the iron shield. And qdoe laying down the last ice block and is about to go to Medusa Head. So this will be exciting to see. Funny thing about Medusa Head is that you actually just need to sort of not use the dungeon item. It's kind of funny. The mini-boss of the dungeon better represents the dungeon and the usage of the dungeon item much better than she does. Mini-boss being Frypolar, a fire and ice enemy that you need to use your the Hyper Slingshot on to sort of use Mystery Seeds on to change the ice spear that he shoots at you in his ice form to be able to lift up and throw on his fire form when he changes back into the fire. And there's qdoe gets the Changing Seasons, the 8th essence of nature, and he will be on his way to the Maku tree to get the Maku seed. Now qdoe's making his way to the northern peak to pierce through the evil barrier and also find out the shocking truth about Twinrova. Explained this earlier in the run, but basically the entire premise of this game is that Twinrova contracts out Varen in the Oracle of Ages game and Onyx in the Oracle of Seasons game. Onyx to capture Din and sink the Temple of Seasons to light the Flame of Destruction. Varen to take over Nehru and manipulate the past to create sorrow in the populace and light the Flame of Sorrow. And then they would kidnap Princess Zelda to create despair in the population in order to light the Flame of Despair, and then use Zelda as a sacrifice conduit to summon forth Ganon back to the world, because he's dead. Yeah, Sagaz is messing around, and that's actually because the automated audio switching is not working, so we're trying to keep the game audio going until LZS finishes. Sagaz did pretty well, though there were some times where it was kind of rough on him. Button was not nice. Vire and Minhandlo were not nice. And now we will get to see the difference between Onyx with Power Ring and Onyx without Power Ring. So without Power Ring, the first two phases of Onyx require 7 hits each, and the second phase requires 8 hits. Well, 7 spin slashes and 8 spin slashes. I don't know if qdoe does the Sunlock or not. I don't think he does. Hopefully qdoe does not die here, because that would be very bad. Since he ran out of bombs. If you die on Onyx, you have to, and you are out of bombs, you have to go through Facade again, but you don't have enough bots to fight Facade, and there is no guarantee that Facade will use spiders so that you can collect some bombs. But he finished, so it looks like he finished at like 207.08. Trying to see if I can get qdoe in here for an interview, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to or not. Oh. Well... Okay. It looks like LZS is getting in here soon. Well, qdoe actually. But he has multiple names. Yo, qdoe.
Yo. How's it going, Mighty?
So, how did you feel about the race?
Well, I was pretty sure about the outcome of the race going into it, so it's not too much of a disappointment, but I wish I could have had a better run there.
You know, it happens. Sometimes they just skip missiles up, and you're like, eh.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the run overall? Points that you liked, points that you didn't?
I think D7 went fairly decently. That was about the high point of the run for me. The rest of the run, there were a few low points. I don't know. I think, yeah, I would say that Dungeon 7 was definitely my high point, but the rest of the run wasn't too clean, so...
It definitely happens. It's a rough time.
Yeah.
But, congrats to you for making it this far in the tournament.
Yeah. Thanks. Made it a lot further than I thought I would when I first started out, so...
Yeah, GG.
Yep. GG's to guys.
Thanks.
Yep. So, Sagaz will be doing the next... Well, actually, the next race will be October 15th between Bamboo and Dragon. And then Sagaz will find out who he gets to face, whoever loses that round. And yeah, the season's tournament is wrapping up pretty nicely here. All three final runners are from Europe. Any last words for either of you about this race before we shut it down?
Nothing. Just thanks. That's all.
Alright, I guess from my side, I want to thank everybody who put this tournament together, and Mighty for commentary, and the rest of the commentators.
Yeah, that was a very... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride, so...
It was definitely a very fun time commentating and watching all the races and being a racer and having Speed Gaming here, so thanks to Speed Gaming and everybody watching. Y'all are amazing and wonderful. So I guess we'll be shutting it down. Thanks so much for watching, and next race will be on October 15th. See y'all then.
Yep, thanks everybody for watching.